must be some kind of way out of here, said a joker to the thief. There's too much confusion, I can't get no relief. Businessman there, drink my wine, plowman dig my earth. None will ever own the mine, nobody of it is worth. To get excited, the thing be kindly spoke. There are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. But you and I, we've been through that, and this is not our fate. So let us start talking falsely now. The hour's getting late. Hey!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, fellow decoders around the world, wherever you may be, my name is Logan. I'm going to be your tour guide for this presentation on a topic that, was very dear to my heart many, many moons ago. I was raised in the JW organization from the time I was born until age 16, and then I left. And I know that a lot of you here that are going to be watching this may share a similar story. And I hope by now, ladies and gentlemen, you've let go all of the negativity that maybe this experience of your life has brought you. I mean, I have no ill will towards this organization, just like I don't think I have no ill will. I have no feelings to the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, the Baptist Church, no more than I do the JW. I don't have it. Religion to me is just an archetype. These are archetypes. And I hope that you've graduated in your reality and you've set yourself above what the normal person will do that's not educated in these areas of refining and graduating to a higher frequency, if you will. You know, there's a lot of you here that may have gotten disfellowship. Maybe your family is not talking to you. That's their loss. That's their loss. And you know, to have a reaction towards that, I know a lot of people, they get shunned. And then they have a reaction to that. Why are you reacting to that? I get it, because it's blood, right? It's family. Why would you do that to me? Yeah, so we can definitely postulate that, like, that's not love. That's when you should be embracing me the most. So there's so many different ways to philosophize around the ways that the congregation and the Watchtower Bible and Church Society goes about doing their things. And remember, you know, they're just doing their parts. They're not in control of their reality. We live in a scripted reality. This is a predestined reality. So if you're no longer in that organization, you weren't supposed to be in that organization. You know, my mother, who I have an extremely amazing relationship with, she's still in that religion. She's been in it since I was born. I mean, she's been in it almost over 52 years. She's not going to change the course of the way she adopts her truth as. She's all in. So this is why we can kind of speculate. Maybe we have our own fractals, our own timelines, and it's not a right or wrong timeline. It's just your timeline, and it's their timeline. But what I'm about to show you is groundbreaking material. This, I promise, the entire world is never, and I'm not saying this, I want to digress and say, this is not me doing it. I'm not in control of my reality. So whatever's channeling through me is what is narrating and going to be showing you the graphics that I've created. Yeah, it uses me as the instrument and all the things that I found, and I'm really good at connecting things because I'm in the habit of doing it and I have a lot of practice at it. But it ain't me doing it. So what I'm about to show you is groundbreaking material, and these are things you've never seen before. And when I finish with this presentation, I have a lot of slides. There should be no doubt in your mind that especially the three major Abrahamic religions, this includes the mighty Quran, the Judaic Torah, the Bible, the Old Testament, the whole lot of it, all Christianity, all of the denominations under that umbrella, they are all owned by the same boss. I will support that. I'm not going to say prove. I'll leave it up to you, what your eyes will reveal to you. I really want to use that word prove, because when I show you the information, there will be absolutely no question anymore that we live in a scripted reality, and the people that are using these religions and telling you that you got to do it their way, you're going to be able to look at them and say, you're nuts. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but because if you think that you got it right, well, then go ahead and try to refute the information I'm about to put out here right now. Try to dismiss it. Because what it's going to show is, and I'll just give it away right at the very forefront, all of them are worshiping the Egyptian sun god Ra, and whatever that is. All of them. The JW organization, the Seventh-day Adventists, the Baptists, the Protestant Reform, Christianity, Catholicism, the Quran, Islam, they're all worshiping Ra. And I'm going to support that in the biggest way you've ever seen, and now there will be no doubt left. And it's not time to run out there and start poking fun at people. Please don't. I hope that you're not going to go out there and try to call people on the phone and say, yeah, you need to watch this, and try to rub it in people's faces. We're not going there with that kind of energy. This is to inform you on what it means to be a human being in your reality. This is not a chance to get back at somebody and try to prove them wrong by throwing this video in their face, or you got to watch this. There will be probably a lot of thumbs down on this. There will probably be a lot of refutement of this presentation, but it's all good. It's whoever has the eyes and ears to see what I'm about to show you, that's all that matters. But I will be showing you. And I'm going to be using the Bibles. I'm going to be using the Latin Vulgate, the 73 books of the Latin Vulgate. I'm going to be using the Greek Codex Sinaiticus, the oldest Greek New Testament version. I'm going to be using the King James Bible. I'm going to be using the Quran. I'm going to show you how all of these texts all point to Ra. Ra, Ra, ooh, Ra, Ra. You remember that Lady Gaga song, right? Ra. And then Greek mythology's in there too, because you got Jupiter in there. And all the celestials and the mighty Olympians up in the skies. Helios, the sun, and Selene, the moon, and Zeus, and Mars, and all those. And they turn into Roman counterparts. Astrology is just theology. That's all it is. It's a Ponzi scheme. And we have the mighty Sirius in here as well. The brightest star in the night sky. There's something with that, and that has a lot to do with masonry. Now remember, masonry, a lot of people think it's bad, and the people like to point the fingers. They use the Bible. You know, one of the reasons why you're looking at this floor here, this room that you're in, there's, Logan must be a Mason. No, I belong to no organization. It's just me. But I know what the black and white means. It means duality, first and foremost, the dance floor that we sit upon, we stand upon. And that's why the watchtower is the towers, the castles in chess. And I'm going to show you the founder, Charles Taze Russell, who just coincidentally has the same name numerology as I do. The guy who started the organization back in the 1800s was being used to start it. And it's a big coup, man. It's a big Ponzi scheme. So that's what I got for you, ladies and gentlemen. So I also, the song that I played all along the watchtower, I'll just show you how scripted this is. I didn't even include this, but this song sang by Jimi Hendrix, who made the song famous, was actually written by one of the greatest songwriters of all time, Bob Dylan. And he wrote this song, and it came off of his 1967 album. 67 is the 19th prime number. 19 is the sun card in the tarot. It was off of John Wesley Harding. And the length, see, these are all clues. As a decoder, as somebody who breaks down the code, the script behind the final product, this is what it's all about. See, if you're just looking at these, why do you think the Bible has all these verses and chapters? And well, songs are coded as well. And you see, all I have to do is take 38 minutes for that length of this album and just bring it into chemistry. Chemistry, and that's why, because we have Ra here, right? Radium, Ra, which is also called Re. We're going to get into both of those. But the 38 is called strontium, and the clue is in the isotope, right? The isotope meaning the neutrons and protons, it's isotope 88. And what's 88? It's the protons of radium, which is Ra, the sun god. It comes from the Latin word radius. This is what the Catholic Church worship. They call it Lucifer. Okay, so that's all we have to do is just connect the dots. I'm going to show you the methodologies, but I'll also be showing you some tarot cards as well. The tower, the watch tower. Why do they call it the watch tower? Well, the towers are the castles that make up the walls in chess on this black and white checkerboard floor. The castles move in a 90-degree fashion, and they actually move 8 squares to vertical and 8 squares horizontally. 8 and 8, that's 88. That's also going to reduce down to the number 16, which is the tower card in the tarot. So when somebody says, oh, the tarot's from the devil, dude, what are you smoking? Because I can just tap it right into the Bible, dude. You got to get your shit right. People need to get their shit right. That's what we're going to do here today. And when you take the numerology of the official title of this organization, the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, you get the 118. I'm just going to go to chemistry again to get the clue. And what is the 118 tied to? Well, it's tied to the element tin. And what is tin tied to? Jupiter. So now we have Greek mythology tied to this, and Zeus, the biggest Olympian of them all, the one that has the all-seeing eye on top of it, the great red spot, tin. And then we can also tie it to the 118th element, the OG, the original gangster, the OG, right? This is tied to the Tower cards. Just found from the numerology. And I'm going to get into way more than what I'm showing you here, because numerology is the science of numbers, and you can break down and figure all the code out that's writing the final product through these layers that I'm going to be showing here today. Oh, I didn't even have my thing on. Let me go back and do this again, folks. Sorry about that. So the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society is 118. The 118 connects to, on the periodic table, the OG, Oganesson, and it also connects to the isotope 118 in tin. And tin is the element that is classically connected to Jupiter. And Jupiter is Zeus in the Greek mythology. It comes from Zeus first. And mythology in Greek was written right around the same time as supposedly the Torah was written. Now, again, I talked about this before, that there's no way they had cell phones back then. They weren't communicating with each other and saying, hey, did you read that Torah? No. The Iliads and Homer writing about the mythologies of Greek and Prometheus and Zeus and all that, they were writing it based upon what they were downloading. But now we have all these tools and connecting points that we can look at. And this 118, and that's why the 50 is so big. Why do you think there were 50 Bitcoins that were first mined? Because this organization is ushering you into the age of Aquarius, the age of cryptocurrency. I've already covered the crypto kingdom twice, the age of the Christ. That's why Jesus says in Luke 22 verses 10, follow me into the house with a man bearing a pitcher of water. Right? That's like the apostles like, well, how do we find you? Luke 22 verses 10. The clues are all in there. It's all astrological. Because that zodiac wheel above is the great beast. And that's the Last Supper. You have the 12 apostles and Jesus being the 13. Jesus being heavily tied to the constellation Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. Okay. So, are you guys and gals ready for this presentation? Like I said, I have a lot of slides. A lot of slides to cover. But let's begin. Let's begin this presentation. Here we go. The Watchtower, Jehovah's Witnesses decoded. Now, the image I have here is, and trying to get the point across, of a chessboard. The horse, of course, is the knight, and the tower is where you get the watchtower, all along the watchtower. And the all-seeing eye above, and the tower has this is what a tower looks like, just like a castle piece, the rooks in chess, which I covered in my first decode, the Tower of Ra, because that's what it is. That's what the JW organization is worshiping, is Ra. Okay, so here are the methodologies that I will be using. So if you're new here, do the best you can to follow along. It's very simple. I know this seems complex. All we do is just connect the things that are in common. For example, starting here with numerology, right? The New Age name of the Yod is Jehovah. And that numerology is the same as the original Arabic name for Allah. So we have a confirmation here that Allah is Jehovah. They're part of the three big Abrahamic religions. And then all I have to do is use my tools. And here are one of my tools. It's the playing cards. The playing cards are very important. There are 52 cards in a deck matching the 52 weeks in the year. There are 4 suits matching the 4 seasons. And there are 13 cards per season, ace through king, matching the 13 weeks per season. So these are already developed, established. There's no question about it. If you want to refute it, then you're not used to playing with the cards. This is the 30th card in the deck. The 4 diamonds, the 4 blood types, the 4 corners, the 4 directions, the 4 elements, fire, air, water, earth, Diamond is a suit of, in the tarot, it moves into this card, it's trapped. This would be Jehovah right here, holding on to you as the diamond. The 5-pointed pentagram, that's you and I. The 5-pointed pentagram is you and I. And this card is based off of Jewish mysticism. So it's based off of the Torah. And this is the 68th card in the deck, matching the numerology of the 5 books of the Torah. Okay, so these pentacles represent you and I, the 4 blood types. And this is the Yod not wanting to let you go. We also can look at mathematics. We're going to take a look at this is major. This is the code that you have to look at, right? Pi and Phi. We live on Pi. Pi is earth. And Phi is the light that comes down and turns into matter. We're going to look at numbers, because everything's based on numbers. Why do I have 1600 here? Because this element right here, Ra, this is isotope 226. It has a half-life, meaning half of it dissipates in about 1600 years. And you're going to see how big, how absolutely massive this number is with the code that I'm about to show you. We're going to take a look at, obviously, many of the religions' theology. We're going to look at spirituality, for sure. We're going to look at mythology, because Shiva has everything to do with the Yod and the God of the Bible, because it's one of the 3 operating systems that stands for God: generate, operate, destroy. Shiva is part of the destruction, the personalities. And then we're going to take a look at chess and how big this game is. 64 squares, 64 possible codons in our DNA. And then we're also going to look at locations on a map. Latitude, longitude, where are you located at? What energy is being delivered to where you're located at on the map? Does that have any merit or relevance? You're going to find out. So we're going to simply just put all this together like a puzzle. These are the methodologies that we're going to use. So I'm going to first start off by telling all of you this. This is my final answer. We live in a scripted reality, meaning you don't have a choice. And when you figure that out, you'll stop blaming, and you'll stop trying to prove people wrong, and you'll stop trying to debate, and you'll stop trying to, get angry at people because they don't accept what you believe in or what you've adopted as your truth. The name of the game here, folks, is to figure out how you're scripted. That's the name of the game. And when you figure it out, you can surrender to it, and life becomes so much easier, because you don't have to try to prove your truth. So we live in a scripted reality, and I'm going to start off. I'm going to show you some scripted reality stuff. This is when I found this at the very end of doing this presentation. I have a lot of people ask me, how long do you do? I have over 12 hours in this presentation, maybe 15 now. I have a lot of hours in this. This was the end of decoding this. It was Dwight Eisenhower, and the craziness of how I found this. I wasn't looking for it, but it found me because it was looking for me. Notice I have it circled in red. His mother, his family. His mother was a JW. He became the 34th president. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what is the Jehovah's Witness organization? How do they feel about being a president or doing the government? It's off limits. It's a big no-no. Now, it does say he belonged to no church, but the code here shows that he's attached to it, because the government is the church, and the church is the Yod, and the Yod is Ra. And the craziness about this, the code, the scripted reality that David, his name is David. Jesus saying, I come from the house of David. What's David? David is 16 in numerology, just like Sirius, just like Ra. And you can see right here, ladies and gentlemen, that his background, his last name in German, Eisenhower. Look at what it means. Iron hewer or iron miner. Well, what's the element for the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh? Freaking iron, of course. Why wouldn't it be? So we can see why his mother was this. And he branched off and didn't want to do that. Not part of his code. But there's the 26 protons right there to match the full numerology of the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. But really it's this. It's the Yod-Hey, because the Vah-Hey is duplicated. This means us. The Yod-Hey is the two most important letters out of those four, because it's the Yod looking through the glass, observing this reality, which is Ra. And its element is iron. This is why in Israel they have the Iron Dome. So Judaism, Christianity, one and the same. No difference. No separation other than you're right and I'm wrong. Oh, no, you can't be doing this. Oh, no, we broke away from this. You got to do this. Dude, you're still worshiping the same God. Hello? Okay? Scripted reality for Dwight Eisenhower, the 34th president. And that 34 is huge as well. But here are the big takeaways for this, right? So I was like, oh, well, I know that 1.5. I know where that 1.5 is. It's right there in the tax code. See, it has the 0. The 0 means and puts infinite potential there. The 0 is what all numbers emanate from. So when you add a 0 to something, it doesn't add any value, but it gives the portal there, the womb that everything comes out of. So it's unlimited supply of everything. And the C is the third letter, and there's the 3 right there, the 33. 33 is tied to Ra. But it's the 501. It's right there, 15. Will you ever wear a pair of Levi's 501 blues? Yeah, well, Levi is a Hebrew name. It's all connected, folks. Levi's jeans is tied to the Yod. Levi is a Hebrew name, the tribe of Levi in the Bible. And he was the guy. This is how I found it. He was the guy who established the 501c3. And what is the 501c3 all about? Promoting churches. Not just the JW organization, all of them. It gives you the tax breaks. It gives you the incentive, like, oh my God, I want the tax breaks. I'll just open up a church. Many people do. Why do they get the incentive? Because churches are in bed with the government. That's why when they inaugurate presidents, they put the hand on the Bible. Every single one of them. Why do they get tax exempt? Because it's tied to the Yod. It's tied to Ra. It's tied to Allah. It's tied to Ahura Mazda. And again, here is his family name. I mean, it doesn't get any more scripted than that. And then his mother was a devout JW. And when you say 5 and 10, which is the Yod-Hey, you get 34, and Eisenhower was the 34th president. So if you think just because this guy wasn't a devout JW doesn't mean he gets a hall pass on being scripted, because he's absolutely scripted right there. Absolutely scripted. Iron is the element of the Yod. And this is also the element of the Christ. And this is also the element of what it means to be a human being. What do we have in our blood, folks? Iron. It's essential. It's essential to have iron in your blood. It has everything to do with oxygen. Oxygen. Oxygen and hydrogen. That's the name of the game. The sun becoming human beings. So that was a little bit of the intro, a little bit of the scripted reality. Now I'm going to get into the topics. I have, almost 100 slides. So stick with me. This is going to be a long one. Here are the topics of conversation for this presentation. Number 1, Russell, Charles Taze Russell. Number 2, Yahweh. Number 3, religious Ponzi, as in Ponzi scheme. Number 4, 66. Number 5, Allah. And then my final thoughts for category or topic number 6. Okay? We live on the chessboard, folks. This is Mercury's magic square, by the way. 8x8 grid, Mercury's magic square. And Mercury is the way you think. And Mercury was the god called El. Connected to El, as in Elohim. Let us make man in our image. Genesis 1 verses 26. Tied to El. Okay, so there's that as well. A separating point from the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh to the Elohim. Okay, but let's get into the first topic now. Russell. Charles Taze Russell, the man who founded the JW organization. His name numerology, his birth certificate name, which I have the same exact 64 outcome. This is why I'm connected and showing you this. It ties to this element on the periodic table. And again, why would I do that? Because we're made up of a lot of these elements, and there's clues in the elements. Now, what stands out here for you? Well, I would hope that the GD stands out for you. Now, in Hebrew, in Judaism, this is one of the ways they spell God, the G-D. It's very common in the Jewish community to spell God as GD, G-D. Well, it's right there on the element, gadolinium. And gadolinium has 64 protons. Even with gadolinium, when you do the numerology of it, folks, can't spell today. Gadolinium is a 35, which matches the word simulation. And the simulation is the television screen. You're on television. Why they have this here? Because gadolinium was used in the making of the screens of the television. This is the hay. Yod, hay. The screen, the window. Okay, and 64 is the amount of squares on a chessboard, and that's why the Masons have it. So when the next time you may want to stop, maybe next time you think, oh my God, they're so evil and they're so that, you may want to look at the way you're rooted. You know, a lot of people, he was buried next to a pyramid. That's a thing. A lot of people think he was a Mason. That doesn't mean shit besides that. They use the Bible, and they have a lot of truth in their organization. So instead of blaming, maybe you can find some value in that organization. A lot of people like to blame on that. His birthday, he was born on the 16th of February, which is very interesting because his birth card is the 35th card in the deck. The 9 diamonds card. These are the bishops on the chessboard. He was a bishop. A bishop is the high priest in the church. In this case, he was part of the Bible Student Society. And the 9 of diamonds converts to the tarot to give us the picture. And this is, you're on television. It's card number 73. It's right there. So the clue is this guy right here having the 9 diamonds for February 16th. This being the 35th card in the deck. And remember that simulation is 35. And that gadolinium is 35. Which is his birth card. His name numerology. These are all the connections of a scripted reality. So Charles Taze Russell doing his job. You're on television, folks. We live in a reality show. You're being watched. There is no right or wrong answer. There's no cookie cutter way to what you would consider salvation. It's all designed to harvest energy. That's all it is. So when you graduate and refine, you stop blaming, you stop getting angry, you stop pointing fingers. You just enjoy the show. You figure out how you're coded, just like this guy right here. And this guy, I will almost guarantee, didn't know all this stuff. These weren't even out back then. These were. Okay, so this is what this is all about here, ladies and gentlemen. And his birthday, being the 9 of diamonds, the 16 in the major arcana of the tarot, the tower. Ding, ding, ding. What did he create? Zion's Watch Tower and herald of Christ's presence. The Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, the Tower. And this is tied to Ra. Ra, ladies and gentlemen. Pastor Russell. Okay? Charles Taze Russell. He was born, how about his birth city? Is that scripted? Yep, it is. Allegheny, Pennsylvania. All you got to do, remember I showed you, we're going to look at the latitude, longitude. You could do this with your birth city. He was born at coordinates 40 degrees north, 80 degrees west. When you add up 40 and 80, you get 120. What's the 120 tied to? Well, it's how about tied to the numerology of the original spelling from Isaiah 45 verses 7. You know what this scripture is, right? It's this right here. It's God saying, I create peace and evil. It's the dualism of God. So you don't think that this guy was scripted to play out this role, to start this religion? Why would he start a religion? Because, see, people like to have what they think are choices. They like to belong to organizations. They like to belong to places where they feel accepted. And I already showed this in my 9/11 decoded. This was the card for 9/11, which is the card of the Yod. The Yod He Vahe equals 26. This is the card of September 11th. It converts into the King of Wands, which is the 36 card. And Ra in Hebrew is 36, which is right there, calamity. Ra, the tower, Sirius, Jupiter. And 457, which is from the chapter and verse, is the 88th prime number. I mean, what are you going to refute this and tell me this ain't accurate? 88 protons right there. It's right there. You can't miss it now. Ra. Jehovah and the Yod is Ra, or at least the personalities, because you have Shalom as well. You have right here, Shalom. I create peace, Shalom, and Ra. But when you bring the two together, like this, they go right back to Ra again. The original numerology of these words from the Torah, from the Old Testament, Isaiah 45 verses 7. Here's Ra, and there's Shalom. And they give you a total of 80 freaking 8. So what is Ra? The Yod. That's what it is. It's ancient Egypt. And according to the research that I've studied, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which is where the Bible came from, long predates the Holy Bible. Long predates the Dead Sea Scrolls. And even if it didn't, let's hypothetically say that ancient Egypt came after the Dead Sea Scrolls. How am I able to connect it to Ra anyway? From something that is chemistry, science, which was discovered by Pierre. How is this possible, ladies and gentlemen? I can connect all these things and how it makes sense. You know, the Egyptian sun god Ra was so big during those times. That's what they worshipped. And it moves into the Torah and Judaism, which moves into Christianity. So if someone says, well, I'm Christian. No, you're Jewish, which comes from ancient Egypt. It's just a hand-me-down. And it's all connected in the string of series. It's a Ponzi scheme. And people like change, so they revise it, they reform it. And then you have the Law of One material, which came out in the 1980s, even though you would say that's New Age. That's a thing. Trying to get people to get into that. So what about the numerology of Charles Taze Russell? What about that? We've gone over the latitude, longitude. How about the numerology of it? 75. And what does 75 connect to? The element rhenium. And what's rhenium? Another word for Ra. You see. Ra is also Re. And what does Re mean? To repeat. To do it again. To do it again. To do it again. To do it again. Repeat. Recycle. Reincarnation. And this element right here, and we're going to get back to this, is tied to Lucifer. I'm going to get to that in just a little bit. But let's get into the next topic now. Are we having fun yet? I get really passionate about this, so my voice is probably really loud. Let's get into Yahweh now. The biggest, most well-known spelling of the Yod. Well, here it is. And we're just going to simply connect and show you the script. Yahweh is 23. And the 23rd letter in the English alphabet is the letter W. And the W is right there on the tower, on the crown, on the rooks, on the castles, the watchtower, you see. 23 is called the Royal Star of the Line in numerology. This is tied to Yaldabaoth, the Gnostic demiurge. Same thing as the Yod, same thing as Allah, same thing as the Ra. And the 23rd, we're just going to simply connect. What is the 23rd book? Isaiah. And what is it about? Warnings of God's coming judgment. Why do you think they call it a scripture? Because it's a script. It doesn't have to be part of your script. Scripture and the consciousness of the planet that reads and prophesies, they provide magic to it, and that's what ends up making these things move forward. So Isaiah is where you get Isaiah 45 verses 7 right here. This is Isaiah 45 verses 7. The only scripture that God is saying, I am creating duality, the demiurge, Ra, peace and calamity right there. Isaiah. So Yahweh is connected to Isaiah through the numerology And the 23 is the W, and the W is right there on the castle piece, the watchtower. Okay? The watchtower. It's also connected to the element on the periodic table called tungsten. The W stands for wolfram. Wolfram. If you go to the calculator here and you type in wolfram, you're going to get 31. And 31 is the numerology of his birth city, you see? So this is all code. All you got to do is look at the code and see that it's a predestined script. People don't have choices. You just follow along your script. The big W, it's tied to the sun. The W is tied to the sun. Sirius, the sun. The sun becoming. God, Psalms 84 verses 11, God says, I'm a sun and a shield. The moon, okay? Let's take a look at the very first time the word tower, watchtower, was mentioned. So these are big things. The very first scripture to mention a tower in the Old Testament, it's in the book of Isaiah. Of course it is. And here's the numerology of it. And what do we get? We go right back to that Re or Ra right there. We go right back to it again. Boy, that's just a coincidence, huh? Right back to it. If we do it through the Chaldean, it's called Migdal. It's the 16 and goes right to the tower card. And there's the tower, folks. The tower is tied to sulfur. This is where you're going to get in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. You get the fire and brimstone, sulfur, the tower, shaking up the playing field on the world stage. And now I don't know if that happened, but it's in the context of the story. So I'm not going to say it's absolutely, but it's written in the story. And this is where you get the cosmology or the Hinduism traditions. So now I can easily take Judaism and Christianity and I can move it into Hinduism. Because now you see that the numerology of the word Shiva, which means the destroyer, which is the D in God, generate, operate, destroy, Shiva is tied to sulfur, which is tied to the Yod, which is tied to Ra, etc., etc. The tower. This was February 16th, Charles Taze Russell's birthday. And then if we just simply do the numerology, wait a minute, what do I have here? Yeah, we do the numerology of the tower in Hebrew, the Migdal, we get 32, and there's the 32. It's the most abundant isotope for sulfur. Sulfur means fire and brimstone, tied to Shiva. Generate, operate, destroy, God. That's the acronym. Very easy to see this now. And there's no doubt about it that this Chaldean is very closely associated with Hebrew. Okay? Very, very associated to it. If you know how these letters work, the Mem and the Gimel, if you know how these on Daleth and Lamed, if you know how all these letters work, you got way more kids. That's like advanced stuff. And I'm still trying to learn it. Like I'm still kind of a rookie reading the Hebrew, but it's all there. What about bringing Jesus into this? Can't forget Jesus. Well, there's Isaiah. Like, we're going to get into what's called theonumerology. This is a technique that I was shown, again, by whatever's channeling through me. You take the total amount of verses and you add them up. So we have to go 5 books, 5 verses 2, and we add up 31, 22, 26, 6, and 2, and what's the total that we get? 87. And there is the spelling of Jesus. We're using the modern Greek because that is what the Bible, the New Testament, supposedly was written in, Koine Greek. The modern 24 letters of the Greek alphabet. Doesn't mean you can't use the ancient, but it's going to reduce down to the number 6. And 6 is carbon, and 6 is the lover's card, etc., etc. The 87 with the Christ there. And clearly Jesus is tied to Ra. Jesus saying, I am the light of the world. Well, hello, there it is. There it is, 226. When you say 88, you get 36. And 36, go right back to Ra in the original Hebrew. There it is. That's the 369. The keys to the universe are generate, operate, destroy. The people just put them in the context through all these stories, through all these religions. There's over 10,000 religions now, and everybody thinks they got it right. And the funny thing is, it's a Ponzi scheme. So yeah, everybody's right, But stop trying to prove people wrong. Don't tell me I got to go get baptized and I got to do this and I got to do that to be saved and all that kind of stuff. When it's a big Ponzi, it's a big coup. It's a big Ponzi scheme. So that's what we're going to talk about. This is the groundbreaking material. This is probably the highlight of the entire decode. You want support. If you want proof, I'll use the word. If you want proof that it's completely scripted, and the JW organization is the same as Judaism. They haven't broken free from it. It's the same as Greek mythology, and it's the same as the Law 1 and the raw material. Don't even need to be religious. It's all connected. That's what I'm going to be showing. And during my first decode, just released a few weeks ago, I think it was not even, maybe a week and a half ago, this is what got me started on this. The Tower of Ra. And what I showed during this presentation was groundbreaking material. What I did was, I just simply took the element Ra, and I took the 88 and the 226, and I went, and I wanted to find what letter in the original Torah. Now, this is Genesis chapter 1, verses 1, chapter 1, verses 2, and chapter 1, verses 3. What is the 88th digit? It's the Hey. So the protons of Ra gets the Hey. So we get one of the letters of the Yod Hey Vah Hey. Well, what do you think is going to be the 226th letter? Yep, you got it. It's the Yod. So we clearly have the two letters out of the four. Now, these letters here represent us. The Wa, Yod Hey Vah, this is the hook. This is me and you, carbon. And then we look through the eyes, the lens. This means the window. This is the Yod looking through the window. This is Ra looking through the window at this reality and then having its hook inside of you. That's what this means. And then we become the window. We look out. But these are the two most important letters because they don't repeat. It's a singularity here. Yod Hey. It repeats here, but these are the two most important. So this is clear support, evidence that the Yod Hey Vah Hey is Ra. There is no question about it. I'm going to continue to support that. Let's keep going. And you know why I have pi here? Because pi is 3.14, and when you take 88 and 226 and you add it up, get out your calculators, you're going to get 314. That's 3.14. We live on pi. Pi means the future. It's the circle that moves. You ever heard about squaring the circle? The masonry? Yeah, it's all tied to Ra. Okay, that's what it's all tied to. So let's start. I'm going to show you the script through, the undeniability that all the religions are the one and the same. Let's start with the King James Bible. Came out in 1611. Just the script on this, the book of James, just this alone. The book of James in the, let me just go to, I want to just do this on the fly so you can see what I'm talking about. The book of James in the New Testament, it's the 59th book. Let me just get this. So King James, who made this book famous, right there it is. King James, right off the JW organization. What is the book number? 59. Okay, great. How many rosaries in Catholicism? 59. Huh. And then how about this? The Game of Life. 59. Contract with God. 59. Even this right here. That's 59. But this means reincarnation, folks. Just off of the James, the most popular Protestant, it's a Protestant Bible, 66 books. Well, it's scripted. King James, scripted to write it, scripted to put it out, to give you more options to look at. And this is the Bible that the JW organization uses because they use the Protestant, and this is a Protestant version, 66 books. So let's go to Revelation now. I did Genesis to show you where the Ra was. What about doing Revelation, the last book of the entire Bible, no matter which version you use? I go to Revelation 1 verses 1, King James Version. I'm going to find what is the 88th letter. The letter freaking Y. And the Y is from the Yod. The Yod is the 10th letter. This becomes the 25th letter. And that's tied to Black Sun, which is tied to Sirius. Sirius has so much to do with this. The brightest star in the night sky. So the 88th letter from the King James Version of the last book of the Bible is the letter freaking Y. I mean, are you kidding me? Okay, well, what's the 226th letter? Well, it's the letter E. And the E is the 5th letter. And what's the 5th letter in Hebrew? The Hey. So it just goes right back to this. So now you can see the King James Version, a Protestant version, or a different version, came out in 1611. Is no different than the Genesis. So that means that Yod is the God of the Bible throughout. And it's tied to Ra, folks. Ra being the God of the Bible. All right, you want more? I know, that's just one example. Let's look at some more information. What about the words? 19 words to get to that Y for 88 letters, and 56 words to get to the E. It's even got the Hey there, the Yod Hey. It's so ridiculous, this code. It's so amazing, actually. So mathematically precise. Well, you take the 19 and 56, you add it up, what do you get? 75. And what's 75? The Re, which is what? The Ra. So, are you seeing this? The Yod is Ra, folks. And it goes all the way back to ancient Egypt. That's it. It's a big coup. It's a big Ponzi scheme. There's Ra right there with the big sun with the serpent over the top of it. Okay? And then you get this. You get the Lucifer character. Oh yeah. Tied right to it. Because this right here is Isaiah 14 verses 12, which talks about, oh, Lucifer, you get casted out of heaven, which correlates to a king in the Bible as well. But it's tied right to the protons. This is repeat, reincarnation, recycle. And Rhenium has 28, and so does Lucifer, when you do it from the Latinized spelling of it, which just so happens to be what they're singing to here. The Catholic Church, which is the largest denomination of Christianity, they're singing to Lucifer. Well, now you know what they're singing to. They're singing to Ra. That's what they're singing to. So do they have it wrong? Do you get offended by when they sing to that? Now you know what it means. Now you have the eyes to see what it means. It means Ra, folks. Tied right to Ra. And this may be the Shiva. Lucifer has a lot of energy to Shiva and plutonium and Pluto and Prometheus and the destruction, the job of the degradation of Earth, the destroy in the God, the personality, the calamity, the Ra, the Re. Okay? But now you know why they sang to it and what it means. There's nothing wrong with that because now you know what it means and what it's linked to. Okay? They just instead of calling it Jehovah, they call it Lucifer. Now you know. No difference. All right, what about if we subtract the total amount of words? 56 minus 19, 37. What is that? Eye in the sky. What's eye in the sky on the periodic table? Well, it's just got a big fat eye on it. Right there. I mean, you tell me we're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. You're just trying to make it up. Oh, I can't be. No, it's right there in your face, man. This is the 85 is the numerology of Sirius, Sothis in Greek. Sirius perhaps having being in a binary with our sun. The rising of the Nile, the heliacal rising of the Nile in ancient Egypt was tied to Sirius, the dog star. So much information on that. How about the mighty Quran? Let's switch it up. Let's take one of the other three major Abrahamic religions. The mighty Quran, where Allah is the boss. I love the Quran. I think it's amazing. So I went ahead and did the same calculations from the first chapter through the 6th chapter. And the spaces in between mark the verses. This is chapter 1 verses 1, 1 verses 2, 1 verses 3, 1 verses 4. Oh, it's actually 1 verses 5. But this is tough to do because it's right to left. But what is the last letter? What is the 88th letter to represent Ra? It's the 16th letter called Ain, which means the eye. Right there. The eye. The eye in the sky, man. The 88th in the Quran, separate book. 16. And what is 16? The tower. The tower. And what is 8 plus 8? 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. If you know your tarot, that's the chariot. And the chariot is Helios moving across the sky. It's Ra, the sun. The sun and Ra, Ra and the sun. What about the 914? The total amount of numerology for the 88 letters for the first couple chapters, the chapter and verses of the Quran, what's the 914 tied to? We go right back to the Old Testament in Isaiah 45 verses 7. We do the theonumerology and we add up all of the 45 verses. Here they are all listed. Till we get to chapter 45 verses 7, there it is, 914. 457 is the 88th prime number. Ra, ra, ooh, ra, ra. I should be trying to do the Lady Gaga song. Because she's scripted into it. I bet if you go do that decode, that song. Ra. It's all connected, folks. We live in a big melting pot of code, and this is how precise it is. This is how connected it is. So the Quran, tied to Ra. Now you know what creates peace and evil. Ra. Allah. Allah does. Okay? Allah. That's why I think it's ridiculous for these religions to say, oh, you got to do it this way. Oh, you got to practice it this way. Dude, just do you. There's no right or wrong way to do it if that's what you want to get involved in, but you're worshiping the same energy, man. It's a big coup. It's a big Ponzi scheme. How about the Latin Vulgate, the 73 books? The Catholic Bible. Well, here it is. The first 8, here it is. This is Revelation now. Revelation chapter 1, verses 1. What is the 88th letter? The letter F, which is the 6th letter. What is the 226th letter? The letter V, the 20th letter. This is using the Latinized numerology cipher now. Right? Not the English, because this is written in Latin. So we have the letter F for the 88th letter to represent the protons of Ra, and then the isotope 226, we have the letter V. And what's 20 and 6? The freaking Yod, man. It's 26, baby. It's the Yod Vahe, the full numerology of it. So now you have the Latin Vulgate, the Catholic Church. Now, what do you think Lucifer is, folks? That's what they were singing to. Come on, man. Are you seeing this? Unless you want to refute this and say, no. You want to stay in that bubble. It's right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's all there. How about the Greek Codex, the Sinaiticus, the Sinai Bible, the Sinaiticus, the New Testament, the Greek, which is what the coined Greek scriptures were written. How about this book? Could this show us anything? Here's Revelation 1 verses 1. What's the first letter? What's the 88th letter? Alpha. A, the number 1 letter. And the 226th, Omicron, the O. And what is 1 and 15 together? 16. There's the tower, which is 8 plus 8. All these numbers reduce down, they all going to reduce down to the number 7. That's why in Hebrew, in the Jewish faith, they have the menorah. I got a decode coming out on that. How many candles? 7. 7. It's the root origin of the 88 and 16. 7. It's Ra, baby. Ra. So we have the Greek. We have Latin Vulgate. We have the Quran. And we have the King James Version here. Okay, well, that's what we have. 4 different versions. And I'm leaving the New World Translation for some of you to go do it. I'm leaving that because I want some of you to go and decode it stuff. So you can start to see for yourself. Okay, well, let's get into the next topic now. 66. Remember, there's 66 books in the JW New World Translation. It's a Protestant Bible. They decided to move Jehovah all the way through it. Doesn't matter. 66 is really big. We find the connection here. So, this is the big highlight here. The New Age name that they decided to use was Jehovah. I think it's a cool name. And it's a 30, right? And we just go to chemistry to get the clue. It's zinc. And zinc has an isotope 66. And is in Isaiah, where they get Isaiah 45 verses 7, I make peace and create evil. It's got 66 total chapters, Isaiah does. One of the longest books of the Old Testament. And when you say zinc, you get 16, which is the tower. And when you say tower, the Migdal in Hebrew, there's the 32 right there. Undeniable, these connections, folks. And I have the latitude, longitude. What is this? What is 31 degrees north and 35 degrees east? What does that add up to? 66. Route 66. What is that? The latitude, longitude of the birth city of Jesus, of course. Why wouldn't it be? Of course it is. It's all connected. 31 and 35. 66. Ra, baby. So I'm just going, this is all like, okay, what can I connect to this? Let's have some fun, right? I'm a connector, man. I'm going to break down the code. What's the 31st book of the Bible to match the latitude north of Bethlehem? Obadiah. And what's the 35th book to match the longitude east? Habakkuk. Or Habakkuk. So we have Obadiah and Habakkuk, 31 and 35, to match the latitude, longitude of the birth city of the Jesus Christ character, which match to the 66 chapters of Isaiah, which has Isaiah 45 verses 7, God saying, I make peace and create evil. Which is tied to zinc, which is tied to the New Age name of Jehovah. Okay? So easy to see this. Well, what happens when we bring this all together? The ridiculousness of how scripted this is. Here is the total numerology, because these are Hebrew, right? These books are from the Old Testament, so we're going to go to the Hebrew. And here is the numerology of Obadiah and Habakkuk. 31 and 35, to match the latitude, longitude, we get 91, which just so happens to be the numerology of the Society of Jesus and their founding date, September 27, 1540, 91. But that's for a different story, I know. Society of Jesus, they use Jesus. Well, let's take this into mathematics now. I'm going to bring it into pi now. Why do I do that? Because 88 and 226 is going to give you 314. It's going to give you pi. And we know Ra is the Yod-He. So I'm going to take the 31 and 35 from the latitude, longitude of Bethlehem, the numerology of the 31 and 35th books. We get the 91, and there's the 91 in the string of the pi. And how many digits? Well, coincidentally, of course, 360. And what is 360? A perfect circle, which is called Earth, which is pi. 36 is what? Ra. The numerology of Ra is 36. It's just got the 0 on there to get infinite potential. That's all it does. And then it just so happens, ladies and gentlemen, which I showed this last night on my What's Your Question 91, that here's the headquarters for the JW organization. They're on Kings Drive. And when you tell somebody, like, what main road are you off of? You would say, I'm off Long Meadow Road. Get on Long Meadow Road and make a left on Kings Drive, or make a right on Kings Drive. So this is the intersection. What is the numerology of those two? Where the headquarters is at? Freaking 91. What about the lake? The lake that they're at in Tuxedo Park. It's freaking 66, man. So we get the 66 from these two books. From the latitude, longitude of Bethlehem. From the 66 from zinc. From the 66 books of Isaiah, which talks about I make peace and create evil. That's duality, folks. Does that sound like a paradise to you? Does that sound like that, evil and calamity will be removed? No, this is a scripted reality, folks. Scripted. Now, if you think that the JW organization actually plotted this out, and they moved their headquarters here because somebody's sitting down with Chaldean numerology and say, well, I'm going to look for a lake in New York, and there's so many of them, and we got to find one that adds up to 66. So we'll start doing some due diligence here, and we got to make sure that the 91 comes up for this intersection, the road that we're going to be off. It's off Kings Drive. Jesus being the king. Jesus being born on the 66 latitude, longitude. It's one Kings Drive. And then we have this, ladies and gentlemen, the big humdinger of them all for the mathematics. What are the total amount what all 360 digits add up to? 16 freaking hundred. Right there. So the 91 is found 359, 360. This should be digits. This says words, but it's digits. The half-life of radium-226, Ra, is 1,600 years, baby. Ra, 1,600. And this is why. This organization is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and this is why the government uses the Bible for the inauguration. This is why the largest collector of artificial intelligence has a 1600 address, Google. And Google, when you do the numerology of it, it's going to be 28, just like the numerology of Rhenium, just like the numerology of Lucifer. And Rhenium is Re. Okay? That's what it is. 360 digits. The total outcome for all these digits, 1,600. 1,600. 1,600. 1,600. Coincidence? You don't think that this was done on purpose? You don't think this was done on purpose? Come on. Ra, baby. Ra and Re. Ra and Re, folks. Okay? That's what it is. Let's get into some Allah now, the next topic. We're getting close to the end here. What about Allah? The mighty Allah. Well, it's interesting because you could spell some of these words out from the periodic table. You could spell out the Yod He Vav He, both the V or the W. I'll let some of you do that. I've already done it before, but how about Allah? You can spell it out. And the clue is like, this is a luminary body. Aluminium means a luminary body. That's what Ra is, a luminary body. 13 is tied to the number 41. 41 is the 13th prime number, and the word Elohim, let us make man in our image, is 41. A luminary body. That's why the 13 is tied to the zodiac wheel, because there are 13 signs, not 12. Ophiuchus must be included to make a complete circle. 13 bloodlines. That's why the elevators, some of them go up to the 13th floor. Then you have Lanthanum. And the clue, we just go to the periodic table. The clue with Lanthanum is it's a freaking camera. Right there. It's a camera looking at you. The eye in the sky watching you. Right? And this is tied to the 57. And what is the 57? This. The Truman Show. Yeah. You're in a reality show, folks. Being watched. Rah, rah, ooh, rah, rah. And then you have hydrogen, which is the main component of the sun. The sun. The sun, the sun, the sun. And if it's not the sun above our heads, it's going to be Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky. Those two suns. And what happens when you add up and do the molar mass of this? Right there. 27 for aluminium, 139 for lanthanum, 1 for hydrogen. These are the isotopes, the most abundant. What's 167? The numerology of this scripture right here. Isaiah 45 verses 7. What is that? It's the Yod speaking. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. It's Allah, baby. So now we have confirmation that the Old Testament and the Quran, one and the same. Allah is the Yod, which is Jehovah, which is Ra, which is Lucifer, which is Jesus, which is Yaldabaoth. Okay? This is how this whole thing works, all these numbers. And here is the confirmation for all of them in the numerology. You'll notice that they all reduce down. The root of them is 3. 3. 3. 3. 3. Babylon, 3. The word 3 is 3. Allah, 3. Yaldabaoth, 3. Demiurge, 3. Why 3? What's up with 3? Well, you go to numerology, if you type in that word, 3, you get 21. What's 21 tied to? Ra, of course. Ra is 2 and 1. But of course it is. This is why I've been saying it's not even me saying it. What's channeling through me to tell you this is I'm not disrespecting anybody's beliefs, religions. I have mad respect for every archetype on this reality because what I see the beauty in the code. I'm a code breaker. I'm somebody who observes the code. I love all the code. I think it's absolutely magnificent. So we have soul trap theory in here, demiurge theory, never getting out, reincarnation here, paradise, but you're being promised eternal life, eternal contempt, Daniel 12 verses 2, the eternal fire that burns forever and ever. You're in it, man. And the law of one is in here because Ra is the law of one, which promises you to graduate or repeat the cycle over again. That's eternal life or eternal contempt. Daniel 12 verses 2. I've already gone over this. So moving a little bit forward here, almost finished with this. Here's Allah now. And what's so amazing about the Quran, there's a very special placement in the Quran where there's this letter. It starts in the Quran chapter 2 verses 1. Remember what the 2 and 1 was? Ra, that's where it starts. And it has this phenom here. This term, Aleph Lam Mem, it appears at the beginning of several chapters in the Quran. And it's found at 29 chapters in the Quran. I'm going to get to the 29. Why the 29? This is like a big mystery. It's not a mystery anymore. What does it mean? There it is in Arabic. Aleph, Lam, and Mem. 26. What is 26? The freaking Yod. So 29 chapters this is found at. This big mystery. Well, it's not a mystery. It's the freaking Yod. It's Ra. That's what it is. And why the 29? What's up with the 29? What is that? What can that tell us? Well, the 29 is the 10th prime number. Hello? It's all mathematics, ladies and gentlemen. You can get into primes, Fibonacci, golden ratio, pi, progression, sine cosine waves. This is how our reality is built on these mathematical equations. So there's no mystery. Allah and this thing that happens, Aleph, Lam, and Mem, means the Yod. It's right there. And 10 is the binary system. 10 in the cards are these right here, the tower cards. The 10s. These are the castles in chess. There's the 23rd. This is Isaiah, the 10 of clubs. Okay? So here's my final thoughts. To finish up this presentation, this long, I don't know how long I've been going for, quite a while. Here are the castles in chess. The towers. They create the walls because they can move vertically and horizontally. What does this mean? Latitude, longitude. They move longitudinally. That's why Bethlehem, 35 degrees east longitude and 31 degrees north latitude. Your latitude, longitude of your birth city has some huge merit to it. And these are the 10s. It's the white against the black. There are how many pieces for chess? There's 8 pawns and then the 2 castles, the 2 knights, the 2 bishops, the king and queen. How many total pieces? 16, which is Ra, man. And 16 against 16 is 32, which is sulfur. The battle of the game of chess. This is Mercury's magic square too, by the way. And this thing right here, again, to confirm this, these have the ability to go 16 spaces, 8 vertically, 8 horizontally, 16 total. The tower's right there, the watchtower watching you. The watchtower. And even this little gem I found last minute to throw in here is that what's the 16th book of the Old Testament? Nehemiah. How do you get, what is the 88th verse? Nehemiah 5 verses 2, which matches the same as when the tower was spoken in Isaiah. Do you see how scripted this whole thing is? And it's tied to the game of chess. This is why Masonry, I would imagine this is why, I'm convinced, this is why Masonry has the square black and white checkerboard floor in their lodges. So again, you may want to think twice about blaming and saying this and saying that. This right here, folks, this square, is this. This is the 90-degree square. It's right here, the castles. That's what it is. And then the compass is the circle in right here. And the circle is the radius. It's right here. Or let me find it. Right there. Radius. This is the vesica piscis. This is the all-seeing eye right here. This is your cross. Your fish is here, 150. This is your fish and your cross and reincarnate, the all-seeing eye of Shalom Ra. It's tied to Ra, folks. Radius, circle, matrix. Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh is 17 in Chaldean. This is a root of the number 8. 8 is the Taurus field, the prison. So this is not any more evil than any religion out there, if that's what you want to claim. I wish people would stop that nonsense. What does the G mean? Well, the G is the capital letter. It's the 33rd letter in the capital letters. 33 is tied to arsenic and Ra. So just remember, folks, that this guy who started the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society has a numerology of 64, which is the total amount of squares on this chessboard, which is masonry, right? And it means you're on television. That's what it means. When you see black and white, you're in duality. And it's 16 pieces of white, 16 pieces of black. 16 and 16, 32, which is sulfur. Right here, sulfur. 16 pieces on the chessboard of white, 16 of black. It's the light against the darkness. Not everybody incarnates to be the good character, folks. There would be no objective to this reality. There would be no drama in this reality if that was the case. Okay? How about here, I'm almost finished with this. How about the ridiculousness of the phone number of the headquarters? That's a damn 32. Right there, the tower. Sulfur. The S as in sun, soul, Sirius. Are you serious? Yeah. Shiva the destroyer. Generate, operate, destroy. 16 he was born on. 16th card. The tower. These cards were not created around Charles Taze Russell. They were created around Jewish mysticism, the Torah, not Charles Taze Russell. And this organization completely forbids you to use this stuff, but there it is in their phone number. Oh, you want to see some more? Let's show you some more. Here's the address of the world headquarters. The total numerology, 130, matches the word Christos, which is Jesus, right? Christos, which means gold. And that's tied to this element on the periodic table called xenon, which comes from the Greek word xenos. And that matches Zeus. And now I easily can take Greek mythology. And if anybody wants to sit here and say, oh, no, you're worshiping the... No, dude. The Bible is mythology. It's the Greek mythology as well, because those people that wrote those texts were not sharing. They weren't sharing text back and forth, the Torah and the Iliad and Homer and all that wrote the mythologies. No way. Zeus now becomes part of Ra and Sirius. That's got the all-seeing eye right on it. The all-seeing eye. It's made of orange. Okay, Jesus, Jesus. That's his name. Jesus, and he's called the Anointed, Christos, the anointed, gold anointed. This means stranger, the stranger in your head, tied to Zeus. So many different layers to this, but this is undeniable that their address, the full numerology of it, ends up becoming tied to Zeus. Come on. Well, let's do a few more. How about Tuxedo Park, where they're located at? You go, this is all code, man. Look at, it's off of Route 17. 17 is radius, Ra. Look at this, the history of it. It had undeveloped iron there. Iron, 26, Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. The Yod-Heh is iron, folks. So the Yod-Heh is part of Jupiter and Zeus in the Greek mythology. See how it's a Ponzi scheme? And astrology has every bit of right to be part of the esoteric and the ancient text. And there's nothing wrong with astrology. There's nothing wrong with looking and observing it and seeing how you're coded. And numerology and the tarot and alchemy, the philosopher's stone and all that stuff. Because we live in a scripted reality. Even Tuxedo Park is in Orange County. Orange County. Come on. Zeus is orange. Folks, are you seeing this? The JW organization, they would never use this stuff. Ever. So how do you get this like this? The consistency over. Remember, Dwight Eisenhower, his name meant iron. His mother was a JW. He incorporated the 501c3 tax, which is what the JW organization uses. Orange. Orange is right there, folks. In the base lineup of the chakras, the classic red to violet at the top. Ra is at the bottom. If you flip it, it's going to be in the third eye position. If you look at the rainbow from red to violet, the Ra is going to be in the third eye position. But if you use the classical way we look at it, Ra is in the procreation. 2 testes, 2 ovaries, 2 duality, procreation. This is why the Bible says, go hump and create babies. I need players on the board, man. I need to observe. I need to experience this reality through. See, Zeus was well known to go down and become part of humanity in the Greek mythology text. It's not even a mythology. It's fact. Just like if you think the theology is a fact, so is mythology. Different culture, same thing. And this right here is where you make babies and you get a little warm and fuzzy. You get horny and you want to have sex. Yeah, because the game needs players. Orange, the only color out of all of them that has the word Ra in it. Coincidence? No, not at all. So there you go, folks. A long presentation. But I don't think there's any doubt about I'm not even saying think. I already know there's no doubt about it now with this reality. And so we have to say, well, what is Ra? Well, that's going to be the next step to try to link down and narrow down what Ra is. But we do know that Ra is connected to Jupiter. Ra is connected to Sirius. Ra is connected to the Yod. Ra is connected to Allah. And so on and so forth. And there is no debating about it. There's no doubt. So there's no reason to go out there and freaking argue about anything anymore. What would be the point to argue and to say, oh, well, if you don't get baptized or if you get disfellowshipped, okay, see, that was your ticket to get out of that organization. Don't get mad at it. You weren't supposed to be in it. If you feel like you want to go join some other organization, if that makes you feel great, awesome. But at least now you know what you're worshiping. Ra. Now, unless, of course, the big de facto here is ancient Egypt is not older than the Torah. But we still have, it doesn't matter because who came first, who came second, who's on first, who's on second. Don't matter, man. Don't matter if the Bible was written like Dr. Hillman. Oh, it was Greek first. Don't matter, dude. It don't matter which one was written first. You can throw that shit out the window because it's all connected anyway. All of it. So I think this is like the big reveal. To show you that it's a big coup, it's a big Ponzi scheme. And remember, the Law 1 material promises you that if you're 51%, just 51% service to others, you'll graduate to the next density. This is what the eternal life was talking about. Because it doesn't say in the Law 1 that you'll be destroyed. It says you'll either go and graduate to a higher density or you'll repeat the density that you're already in. It doesn't say you're going to die. This is what Daniel 12 verses 2 talks about. Daniel 12 verses 2 says you're either going to have eternal life, graduation, or eternal contempt. You'll have to repeat the cycle over again. I don't know how much more evidence that I'm kind of done here. Like there's no more to investigate except for what Ra and Re is. There's really no more to investigate anymore. It's like hook line. This is a nail in the coffin here. Done. Over with. We've finished this chapter. Put it to rest. Don't need to go any further. It doesn't matter the history. It doesn't matter how old something is. History to me is irrelevant because it's all connected no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's new, old, doesn't matter because it's all connected. And as you just saw, I just supported that with how many different big Bibles? 4, 5? Or text, the Quran. It's not even the Bible, it's the Islam Bible. or the Islam text. So there you go, folks. This is it, man. It's all a big Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is 53. 53 is the 16th prime. Let me just show you this. Just so you can see, because this is what I've been saying forever now, that we live inside of a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme is 53. Yeshua equals 53 in the original numerology. And what is 53 tied to? 53 is tied to the 16th prime number. And what is 16? The tower. Even the word, like, 16 is what? Hell. The lake of fire. 16 is light, slowed down into physical matter, where you get stuck in hell. You're in it. That's what you're in. So it doesn't, at this point now, I'll look at some of your comments. I think, and so people have asked, well, what should I do? Study yourself, figure out what you're doing, be nice to people, like it's your way, man. You're living out your timeline. You're doing your thing. Figure out what you're doing here. Stop blaming, stop criticizing, stop trying to put people down. Stop trying to argue with people on, what's my truth? I got it right. And it's just like, I talked about this last night. There's this huge thing right now about Billy Carson and this guy Wes, who's some Bible dude. And Wes, he beat up on Billy. Who cares? They're both right. That's why debating is a waste of freaking time, man. Because we're not in control. We're being used. Just go do you, man. If you want to do Christianity, if you want to do Judaism, if you want to be a Baptist, then go do that. But don't tell me that I'm wrong. Don't tell me I got it wrong. Don't tell me I got to do this and I got to do that. When I can show as a code breaker that it's all a coup. It's a big Ponzi scheme. Your mom asked the question, is Satan Lucifer? Satan is time. What happens over time? When you're born into this world, right? The devil has you, right? You're the little devil because you're a little sinner. What happens over time? Do you start to get sick? Do you start to break down? Do you start to fall and skin your knee and break your arm and to have bad things happen to you? That's all devil, man. That's time. Satan represent the epitome of it is time, man, over time. And that's tied to Saturn. Saturn is time. That's where you get Saturn and Satan. That's where a lot of people say that you get the connections of that. That's how I have it pegged. I don't know how to look at it any other way. I think one of the requisites of eliminating these circumstances in your life to a certain degree is to stop associating with all these organizations and stop engaging and trying to prove your point. Okay, you're right. I got it. Oh, let me bow down to you because you got it all figured out. Yay. What a waste. It's not helping anybody. You're just trying to show your big ego off, trying to be right. It's ridiculous. These two, like Billy Carson and Wes, like Wes is like putting all this stuff out. He's trying to make a name, he's trying to get bigger. I know why you're doing it. I don't even know the guy. I'm sure he's a nice guy. You know why he's doing it? Because so he can get more likes and subscribers and make more money and to have bragging rights. That's why. And then Billy Carson's in fear of looking bad, being wrong. Who cares, dude? You don't have it all figured out. You have this reputation who cares about your ego and reputation? You're just sacrificing love in your life just so you can be right. Congratulations. That's not graduation. You're still bound to the chains of duality. If you want to debate and all that kind of nonsense. It's a waste of time. It shows that you lack ethics when you want to get out there and debate somebody. It's like old. That's like you're bound to the earth, man. You're bound to the matrix more than anybody else. When you got to try to say, come and debate me. You want to come debate me? I'll show you. I'll tell you. Great. Congratulations. What do I need to give you now that you've debated it? And it's just your opinion with some support. Great. Folks, I don't need to debate this information that I put out there. You're either going to look at it and say, accept it or refute it, it don't matter to me, man. At the end of the night, I go to sleep. I know what this shows. I'm a code breaker. That's what I'm designed to do. I'm just here to show. I'm the messenger. This is what I was assigned to do. This is what I was told to do. I had no plans to do it today. I asked, do you want me to do it today? Yep, I got the answer. Yeah, I'll do it today. December 15th. The sun is in Ophiuchus right now, by the way. That's a big deal, if you know what Ophiuchus is. So I don't think you're gonna. Jasmina says life is so much better without ego. You're not gonna get your ego is your desire. I think I'll go to the store tonight. That's your ego, right? I don't think we get rid of the ego, but it's just what are you directing your ego to do? Because your ego says I want to go do that. I want to earn this. I want to go do this. I want to make this new company. That's all ego. But it's when you pit your ego against somebody else. Like you don't see a manager of Circle K arguing with the manager of 7-Eleven of who's got the best convenience store. Come on, man. That's how dumb it is to debate. Well, yeah, I know, but 7-Eleven, I've been here longer and dude, just go do Circle K, okay? I'll do 7-Eleven, you do Circle K. That's it. Don't need to, who cares, man? I sell shit, you sell shit. Congratulations. That's how dumb debating is. But it's popping up. It's popping up all over social media right now. Why? Because of the astrological positions. You have Chiron in Pisces, you have Rahu in Pisces, and you have Poseidon in Pisces. All water, all spirituality and enlightenment being challenged on the world stage. This is why this is big round robin going back to Christianity, because of the placements in Pisces. Jesus was a fisher of men. That's Pisces. It's all astrological. So we have this. So don't get caught up in the debates. It's just it's somebody's ego, like trying to be macho, like I'm bigger and better and badder than you. What do you want from me, man? So what, you can get more likes? So you can look better than somebody? So you can appear smarter than somebody? Is that why? There's a reason why people debate. Either they're insecure, either they're not confident in their truth, or they just have to prove somebody wrong because they need to feel superior. Those are the three main reasons why. But it's always about sacrificing love. You don't, there's no love when you debate. People get angry and mad and emotions. What people debating is a huge freaking harvest of energy. Talk about feeding the matrix. Oh man, it loves the debates. That's all energy harvesting at its highest level. Because you're raising your energy through your emotions, and it's being harvested. Where you could be taking that and doing something good for the world. Debating does not do anything good for the world. All it does is create more chaos. That's all it does. Anyway. Yeah, luge. Jasmina says, Buddha says, release desire, life is beautiful. Then, yeah, but, okay, desire is, you have to desire that. See the contradiction? Release the ego. You have to desire that. Oh, I want to do that. I desire that. I want to be a breatharian. You have to desire that. That's ego. So you never escape the ego because it's ultimately what you desire to do. I desire to be more spiritual. That's your ego. The ego is an essential part of your ascension process, yours and your works. So I get with what you're saying, but all right. I think we're gonna call this a wrap up here. not gonna get into like, oh, I don't want to get into what's your questions. I'll pull one tarot card to see what's gonna come out on this. Be interesting to see. Just one card. We just do a shuffle and then we're gonna call it a night. Oops. Okay. So here we go. One card for the tarot to solidify this presentation on the Watchtower. Let's see what this thing has to say. One word, baby. One card. What is the message? The Nine of Wands. And you know, the Nine of Wands, folks, is card number 31. And Sopdet, the numerology, Sopdet is the Egyptian name for Sirius, is 31. And this is card number 22 in the Cards of Illumination, which is tied to the word recycle. This is the nine. This is the bishop that keeps getting recycled. And Peter being the first bishop. Peter, I will build upon this rock, the church. Peter, the first pope, the first bishop, and this is the bishop right here, the Nine of Wands. So the final remainder, the wounded war. This is all of us, folks. We're at the kind of the end of the cycle here, and we're all wounded here, wounded from all this stuff coming in, trying to figure it out. At the bottom, look at that, judgment, graduation. All right, need I say more right there? So there you go, folks. Christianity equals 31. That was the 31st card in the deck. 31's tied to the head of the snake. Tied to religion, folks. Organized religion. Again, having its place in this reality, but you can see it's a Ponzi scheme. So there you have it. All right. So let's see what we're going to play here to end this. What do I want to play here to end this presentation? I'll let all of you guys and gals talk amongst yourselves, chat, text amongst yourselves. I have no idea what I want to play here. Here we go, play this.
Okay, Bohemian Rhapsody, take one.
This is Mark Martel with a cover of Queen's song called Bohemian Rhapsody. Is this the real life?
Is this just fantasy?
It's fantasy, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a really fun ride, man. The Watchtower JW organization Decoded. I hope you had a lot of fun. My name is Logan. Decode your reality. Until next time, we will see you later.
I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy, 'cause I'm easy come, easy go. Little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, ooh, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters. Too late, on his claw sends shivers down my spine. Body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, ooh, I don't wanna die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, 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 Figaro, Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy, nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, will you let me go? Bismillah, no, we will not let you go, let him go. Bismillah, we will not let you go, let him go. Bismillah, we will not let you go, we'll not let you go, we'll not let you go, let me go. No, 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 mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stop me and spit in my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out, just gotta get right.